this Rudy Giuliani thing. I want to make something clear here. These are all allegations against Rudy Giuliani. And I have been living in New York City for 20 years now, since 94, 93. And I still have images of a piece of videotape of Rudy Giuliani that I want to show. Bradley, did we pull that? Remember I mentioned that from Borat?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see it. I want to show this.
That's 30 years, by the way, you've been in New York.
30 years. Sorry about that. Let me take that again. I have been in New York for 30 years. Wow, I missed it by 10. 30 years, and I still have images of America's mayor on that that pile. Well, really, it wasn't just a pile. Do you got it? Yeah. It's not just really a pile. It is, here, put it up on the screen. It's video footage that I think every American remembers. Rudy Giuliani. Can I see it?
Yeah. We're talking about the board.
Yes. And get to, just get to the part where, and it, of course, is that clip from Borat when they walk in on Rudy Giuliani. Here it is.
Should we slip your jacket?
Yep. Yep, there's the sound. Oh, there he is. He's just tucking in his shirt. Classic way of tucking in the shirt. Okay, we don't need to see Borat come in and be upset. But all Americans remember that. America's mayor with that young girl.
Preparing himself.
Right. And I just want to make this clear. Again, this is allegations. This is all alleged in a 70-page complaint filed in the New York Supreme Court. This is the type of thing that if you sue somebody for something like this, this can be problematic if you're lying. Just want you to know. But again, alleged. A woman named Noel Dunphy in January filed a summons, which is the first step in a civil legal process, right? This is not criminal charges. The lawsuit claims that, well, let's pop this up. We got clips here, right? We got, here's the first thing. This is, Giuliani told the alleged victim, who is suing him for sexual harassment and failure to pay him the $2 million. He also asked Mr. Dunphy, this is the woman who was working for him, if she knew anyone in need of a pardon, telling her that he was selling pardons for $2 million, which he and President Trump would split. He told Ms. Dunphy that she could refer individuals seeking pardons to him so long as they didn't go through the normal channels of the Office of the Pardon Attorney, because that correspondence is subject to Freedom of Information Acts.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want that.
So you wouldn't want that. Now, it's possible he was just lying to impress her, which is a weird
problem still.
Well, that's a problem. It's indicative of a problem that he has mentally, but it's not, it doesn't rise to the level of something that should be investigated. But let's just assess this. She's working for him. They're already, he's already like sexually like assaulting her, according to her, forcing her to have sex with him while under his employ. Maybe he's just saying this to sound important, but I mean, he's the president's lawyer. Yeah. What is he trying to prove here? Unless what he's really trying to do is make some money and put out feelers with anybody he knows. And Ms. Dunphy comes from that conservative world. Maybe she knows people.
Networking.
here is some more screenshots. This is from blogger Liz Dye. Some more screenshots from this court filing. This is disturbing. Giuliani also took Viagra constantly. While working with Miss Dunphy, Giuliani would look to Miss Dunphy, point to, I'm going to change the words here so that we don't become unfriendly to work, but point to his soldier standing at full salute.
Yeah.
And tell her that he cannot do any work until you take care of this. Thus, Miss Dunphy worked under the constant threat that Giuliani might demand sex from her at any moment. Even when the COVID-19 pandemic halted Giuliani's ability to physically assault her, he demanded that she disrobe during their work-related video conferences.
God.
Now, again, this is all an allegation. Giuliani also abused his position as Mrs. Dunphy's lawyer to pressure her into sex. So apparently she came to him or had also a lawyer-client relationship in addition to an employee-employer relationship. She was dealing with a domestic violence case from her last, boyfriend. Now, it is not uncommon for people who have been in abusive relationships to go into another abusive relationship. Wait, don't move that away. Just as context, I think most people are aware of that. In one instance, for example, Giuliani promised Miss Dunphy that he would give her $300,000 if she would forego her legal rights in connection with her pending case and F me like crazy. This statement was recorded. We should say that the allegations also come with the claim that there are recordings and also screenshots of text messages. Here's some more excerpts. These are compiled by Pilar Melendez. This is from one of the texts. This is from
Rudy says.
Rudy says, you want to do Rudy? Why don't you do the woman and I'll do Rudy? Okay. Good morning, my love. Tried to call you. Tried to call.
Your scotch is with me. I'll bring it for you on Thursday, wherever we meet. Let me quickly shower.
Now, we should also say the claims in this lawsuit are also that he starts drinking at 10 a.m. in the morning and is constantly demanding more alcohol because he realizes he's a functional alcoholic and he can't function without the alcohol.
I would just say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence on that.
Exactly. And then he responds, can I shower with you?
She says, need to shower dress before Xfinity and the IT guys come.
Good idea. And put very modest clothes on, possibly burlap.
Jesus.
What else? Do we have anything else from any more screenshots?
Let's see here.
I mean,
Yeah, here's another one. Around the same time that Miss Dunphy began working for Giuliani and the Giuliani companies, Giuliani and Mr. Dunphy began working together on her legal matters. Under the guise of providing Miss Dunphy legal advice, Giuliani started asking Miss Dunphy extremely personal questions relating to her past, including explicit details about prior sexual encounters. Miss Dunphy was disturbed by these personal questions, but Giuliani claimed this information was necessary for his, quote, research in connection with his case. As Miss Dunphy would soon learn, Giuliani's probing questions were not designed to provide legal advice. Rather, Dunphy would come to understand that Giuliani was aroused by discussing Miss Dunphy's sexual history and violent relationships. Miss Dunphy did not know yet, but Giuliani would force her to repeat the cycle of abuse she had suffered. Disturbing stuff. These allegations are true. One, this woman has been subjected to a tremendous amount of abuse. Two, Giuliani is as horrible as you could imagine. But also, these allegations of selling pardons. These need to be examined. Like, I don't know how there hasn't been already a call in the Senate or the DOJ to investigate this. I mean, it's possible that this woman lodging this lawsuit, who has got voice recordings, who has got email texts, I should say text screenshots, all sent around. She's seeking $10 million in damages, including the $2 million that she was not paid that were ostensibly promised her for employment. That she included this other allegation that she's got a lot of evidence on what her case is. She drops in this other allegation. Why? If it was untrue that he said this to her, she is one of the most, and her lawyer is one of the biggest idiots in the world. Why would you put in such a flagrant allegation? This is a big allegation that was false. When you have so much else that doesn't even run directly to your case necessarily, and you have so much else to prove here, and you have substantiation on these other claims. And it may be the case that Rudy Giuliani was just trying to be, impressive. But if Rudy Giuliani did say this, maybe somebody needs to investigate whether it was just to show off or whether it was founded in some type of truth. I mean, it seems to me this is a big allegation. Nakedly selling pardons. And I would imagine you're able to trace that money. Like, we know the people who got pardons. And we know the people whose pardons went through the pardon board, at least initially, right? All the requests. So what you do is you look at the, were there requests made by Rudy Giuliani to the pardon board? Or were there pardons that didn't go through the pardon board at all? Those two things would give you a subset of things to investigate. I mean, this seems pretty straightforward. But we'll see.
And also who asked and didn't get one too. Like, you remember there were those reports like Gates requested a pardon, or Gosar and Biggs from Arizona. Like, if there was any discussions of paying for that or whatever after January 6th.
Well, you're not going to, I mean, if it's between those two, you're not going to know. What you really need is the pardons that happened. You trace, what did money exit their bank accounts and go in to Giuliani and Trump's? It's not, I mean, there is I don't know if you can find these stuffs, because I imagine these guys are quite good at hiding stuff. But you look at the pardons that were granted, and then you trace and see if there was any cash. That's it. Super clear on what the scope of this investigation is. But all we're going to hear about is how John Durham says, I'm glad the FBI made some changes into their process, because when I investigated it, I thought the process was bad too. That's what his investigation was. No, all recommendations that have already been done by the FBI.
Got him.
But look, if the Republican Congress wants to defund the FBI, I think I can sign on to that.
Fine.
And let's do the CIA while we're at it. We could do the NSA.
Let's go down the line. all the intelligence agencies. Why not?
Let's put that money into the EPA and to the IRS and
DOE,
Health and Human Services and see if we can't expand Medicaid a little bit more.